Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from beautiful Costa Rica. Tonight's topic is going to be when you are in the narcissistic fog. Think about that for a minute. If you like the content, please subscribe. And I am laughing at myself right now because I was just shooting the video and I forgot the topic, so I had to redo it, which never happens, but it happened tonight. So when you're in the narcissistic fog, I'm going to jump right into it. And what this means is when you are in the narcissistic relationship, euphoric stage or euphoria stage or love bomb, whatever you want to call it, many times you're in the fog. And this fog is literally in your head. It's like you're not sure of yourself. You can't make decisions because every time you make a decision, it is either overturned or overruled or disregarded or not listened to. If you try to have boundaries, believe me, they will be crushed eventually because remember, the narcissist doesn't like boundaries. They're the ones that dictate how things are done, not you. And so what happens is many times you find yourself subservient to the narcissist, essentially working for the relationship and working for the narcissist in many capacities because you went from a healthy individual, self-sustaining individual, I mean, you were doing great, everything was running along swimmingly in your life, I'm certain. Along comes the narcissist, they ensnare you in their web of manipulation, lies, deceit, and destruction, or euphoric stage. And then the devaluation stage happens, which is when you enter the fog. And the fog is a place where you will be swimming, you'll be searching, you'll be looking for the light at the end of the tunnel the whole time, unbeknownst to yourself, because you're trying to get back to the euphoric stage, of which we know by now that will never happen. Maybe you get a breadcrumb of the euphoric stage or love bomb stage. Maybe you get a little sliver here and there to keep you working harder and harder for the narcissist and the relationship. But will you ever get back to that full-fledged love bomb stage? No, you can't. Why? Because it wasn't real. It was real to you, but it wasn't real to this person who turned out to be a narcissist. Remember, they were just wearing a mask. They were simply manipulating you and tricking you and trapping you. They wanted you in the fog. They wanted you not believing in yourself. They wanted to steal your identity. They wanted to steal all of your resources, which include everything I mentioned on the channel, your looks, your health, your social circle, your friends, your extended family members, your job, everything possible, your finances, if I didn't say that. They wanted to take this. And believe me when I say it, if you were in a narcissistic relationship for a period of time, they took as much as they possibly could have. They would have taken more if you didn't catch on, or they did take as much as they possibly could have if you were discarded. Keep that in mind. Remember also, when the narcissist discards you, they already have another source of supply lined up, probably multiple sources of supply. And those people are unsuspecting people, just like you were when you entered the narcissistic relationship. You didn't even know what narcissism was. And now here you are on my channel. And again, thank you very much for being here. But you're getting the education. You're becoming awakened and aware. Getting back on track, when you're in the narcissistic fog, this is a place where you are completely isolated. And you are not believing your eyes, you're not believing your ears, you're not believing some of the things you do, say, think, or the way you behave, because every time you actually try to be authentic and try to be yourself, you're put down, and you're invalidated, and you're gaslit, and you're being told, well, who does that? Like, why? You're totally being crushed. And most of this abuse is happening behind closed doors. It really is, not all of it, but most of it is. And so you get to a point when you're in the narcissistic fog where it's easier for you to not make a decision, because that decision will be criticized, or you'll be thrown under the bus, or you'll be blamed for something you never did. It's easier to do that than to make a decision, than to not make a decision, because if you don't make a decision, then you just leave it to the narcissist, and there you go. Again, you're deferring to somebody else. You're letting them take over the narrative. You're letting them do what they want to do. Why? Because again, you're believing you're in a healthy relationship. You're not. You're in a toxic narcissistic relationship where there is one recipient of all the energy, which is the narcissist, and there's one giver of all the energy and the resources, which was you. Now, when you're in the fog of the narcissistic relationship, there's no fault. It's not like it's your fault because you didn't have the education. You didn't even know what narcissism was. You certainly weren't taught this in school, and you only used the word narcissism probably a few times in your life, if ever. It was just used in a passing comment like, oh, that person's a narcissist and things like that. No, you know exactly what I'm talking about now, because these relationships are toxic. They are soul crushing. They are soul stealing. They're energy stealing. They are every single way possible taking from you. And the sooner you exit a narcissistic relationship in any capacity, and yes, I mean that, the better off you will be. Now, I'm not suggesting that people get discarded. It's not a good experience, but what I am suggesting is that the sooner the relationship ends, the sooner you can begin on the healing path, and you can put all that energy and love and empathy and efforts into yourself. That is what you must do. Again, getting back on track, when you're in the narcissistic fog, you can't believe what's going on because you question, like, who behaves this way? Who does this? Who goes for days without even talking to another individual? Who has rage fits out of the blue? Who ghosts people? Who invalidates people? Who blows up vacations, birthdays, holidays, special events, and anything? All these things happen, and you're in disbelief because, again, you're ensnared in the web of manipulation, and you are in the fog. When you're in the fog, it's hard to stand up for yourself. For some people, it's virtually impossible to stand up for themselves because they've been in the fog perhaps a lifetime, or perhaps the duration of a long marriage or a long friendship. When you're in the fog, you defer to the narcissist, to the person, because it's just easier. It's just easier to do it because you know if you stand up for yourself, no, you're going to experience some backlash eventually. That's what happens. But once you understand the narcissistic fog and that perhaps you were in it or perhaps you are in it, you need to also understand getting out of the toxic relationship of the narcissist is the first step. It really is. The second step is processing that you were in a narcissistic relationship, which takes time, and I've mentioned that in many videos. Coming out of the fog is another step. That takes a lot of time to get your identity back, to get your courage back, your strength, your worth, and all of these things. But it will happen if you practice your self-love and you educate yourself and you put all of your energy into yourself. The narcissistic fog, when you're in it, it is unlike anything that you've ever experienced. Not just the narcissistic relationship, I'm talking the fog. Because when you're in it, what you're doing, let's say you have a 9-to-5 job. You go to work, you wake up, you do what you do, you go to work, and then you're like literally sitting by the phone, like your cell phone, waiting for a text, and while you're working. But if that text, you're on high alert 24/7 is what I'm saying. And that text, it's not going to be a text like, hey, how's your day going? You know, how's everything going? No, there's going to be some drama in there or a backhanded comment. It's going to be something to keep you on high alert. Keep in mind, throughout the narcissistic relationship and certainly in the narcissistic fog, you experience some good moments. That is true. Absolutely correct. But these are just breadcrumbs to keep you strung along as long as possible until you wise up or until the narcissist has found another source of supply so they can discard you. That is exactly what happens. And when you're in the fog, it's unlike anything you've ever experienced because you know what reality is. You're looking at other people, seeing what healthy individuals do and how they behave and how they act. And yet you're with this person who is not portraying any of these emotions, or they're not being, they're being a different way. That's exactly what I will say to you. And it's not usual, but in your mind, what you're saying is, no, they were a certain way during the love bomb or the euphoric stage, and I can get that back again. Meanwhile, when you're looking around, you're seeing all these other people that their life is just seamless and everything's going, it seems to be going better, and you're comparing your relationship, you're like, what is this? It's just so simple. Like, why can't I get some of this? And that's all on purpose. It's because the narcissist knows that they've placed you in the fog. Notice I said they have placed you in the fog. That is exactly what has happened. You didn't enter the fog on your own will. You were manipulated to enter the fog by the narcissist. They led you down the path right into this place called the narcissistic fog, where you are literally lost. You are literally working for them. You are literally without an identity, without direction, without purpose, other than to serve the narcissist. And you certainly have no boundaries. You certainly will jump if the narcissist says how high. You certainly will be there to make their life easier the whole time your resources and energy is being depleted at a rapid rate. Keep in mind, every narcissistic relationship ends. Most end with a thud, a crash, a bang. They don't end in a healthy way. Now, bear in mind, stable, healthy relationships, many of those don't end in good ways. I understand that completely. I'm saying the common denominator here with a narcissistic relationship is you are being used the whole time until you do not serve a purpose any longer. then you'll be crumbled up like a sheet of paper and thrown on the side of the road, thrown away. Or you get the education and you understand something's not right in this relationship and maybe you end it. And if you did that, God bless you. A+ for you. That's beautiful. Those people are few and far between, but they do exist. The point of this is when you're in the narcissistic fog, you've lost yourself. And the only person that can get you back to where you want to be, it's you. The thing is, you are in the fog and you're lost and you're confused. And the direction you're headed in when you're in the fog is towards the narcissist. Because remember, you're trying to appease them, trying to make their life easier while all of your resources are being depleted. It's not until this relationship ends that the fog will lift and you will see the light and you'll see exactly who the narcissist is and exactly how they did not benefit you ever. And that's when you'll get your first light bulb moment, most likely, or one of your first light bulb moments, and you'll understand, oh my goodness, I need to get out of here. And I need to get myself back to me. I need to start investing in myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, financially, every way possible. That's when you first take a step forward and you understand, oh my gosh, I need to get out. And when you do that, it's a beautiful thing. But for many people, they will be in the narcissistic fog for the rest of their lives. Yes, they will be. And I'm not trying to upset anybody or make anyone mad. It's just that many people, they don't have the education, or they don't have the foresight, or they don't have the strength to exit the toxic narcissistic relationship. They just think it's easier to just be subservient to the narcissist and then just go day by day. And for those people, my heart goes out to you. It really does. It sincerely does. For those people that are in the fog and or are exiting the narcissistic fog, my heart goes out to you too. And my hope is that you get courage and strength and fortitude and commitment and fight your way out of that fog and get yourself back to being yourself. And you will become a stronger, more galvanized version of yourself than you ever thought possible. So that's it. I wanted to explain when you're in the toxic narcissistic fog, it's unlike anything ever. You are completely lost. You're confused. You're bewildered. You don't know what's up or down, in or out. You don't know anything because you've been tricked and manipulated into staying in that area until you actually saw the light bulb moment. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from beautiful Costa Rica. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great evening. Stay blessed. Stay true. Continue to become awakened and aware and understand that the narcissistic fog is not a place you want to be ever. If you were there in the past, drop comments below. And my hope is you never get anywhere near that again, because we are all individuals on this planet. We all deserve to have a voice and to speak our mind and to be loved and to love. So that's the video, guys. No matter where you are on the planet, remember, you are not alone. I love you. Have a great evening. Stay on the path. God bless you. And no more fog. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night.